My beloved child, I never want you to ignore the calls I send, especially in these sacred moments when their importance reaches far beyond what you can comprehend. You are standing before a great turning point in your life, and I am calling you, with all my love and patience, that you may not miss this crucial opportunity. The words I am speaking to you now are not ordinary reminders. They are both a warning and an invitation, spoken with a sense of divine urgency. Listen closely, my child, for this is the moment I want you to recognize what you have long overlooked. Do you know that in your contacts there is someone trying to reach you? That person is preparing to speak words born from the depths of their heart, a confession they have long hesitated to share, restrained by fear and uncertainty. This is a sincere soul, one who has quietly watched over you, observing each of your steps for a long time, yet lacking the courage to reveal the fullness of their feelings. They are afraid that you may not understand, that you might not see the purity in their intentions, that their affection might not be welcomed. It is a fear that holds them captive in silence, concealing emotions that long to be seen. But, my child, I want you to know that fear cannot overshadow true love, and truth cannot remain hidden forever. In every human heart, there are things that cannot be immediately expressed through words. Sometimes the heart speaks best in silence, in those moments when language fails. There are only feelings, a glance, a smile, a gesture, a quiet act of care that often goes unnoticed. Yet, my child, God sees clearly what stirs within your heart and within the heart of the other. He knows that the unspoken words, the unrevealed emotions, are sometimes the necessary bridges leading to this very moment, the moment you realize there are great truths that must be shared, and deep affections that only sincerity can unveil. The reason I send you this reminder is not merely to make you aware of a connection forming, but to help you understand that in life, there are times when you must confront your own hesitation, your own fear, and those truths you have kept hidden. But the truth, my child, cannot stay veiled forever. Sincerity, even when delayed or restrained, will eventually find a way to emerge. When the time is right, when the moment ripens, every unspoken word and every quiet emotion will be revealed in the light of understanding. Remember, my beloved, that your heart will not always be clear, nor will you always easily see the truth that God wants you to know. But when you listen in stillness, when you find peace in the quiet moments without words, you will begin to perceive the secret whispers of your heart being gently unveiled. Every emotion once hidden, every longing once concealed, will one day come forth naturally, and you will realize that it is through this very unfolding that God works within your life, just like the one preparing to confess their feelings for you. Sometimes God also works in silence, not because He does not want you to hear Him, but because He desires that you experience silence as part of your union with Him. It is in that sacred stillness that He wants you to find yourself, in moments where only the heart can perceive. And when the time arrives, when everything is ready, you will see everything burst into light, and all will become clearer than ever before. The silent seasons of your life are not times when God has abandoned you. They are the moments when He is working most deeply within you, not through words, but through transformation in your spirit. You will feel this change when you open your heart, when you open your eyes to see what you could not see before. Sometimes you must pause and listen in stillness to recognize that miracles are quietly unfolding in your life, and in those very moments, you will realize that God has never been closer to you than He is right now. The changes unfolding in your life are not random. They are part of a grand design that God has carefully orchestrated. Each time you open your heart to receive the unexpected, to embrace opportunities you did not foresee, God is opening new doors for you, revealing blessings beyond your imagination. Believe that every moment of your life has a purpose, and that God is at work in every instant. He never lets you walk alone, not even in the quietest moments when nothing seems to go as you hoped. Remember, my beloved, even when you do not hear words spoken aloud, God is still speaking to you. The emotions stirring in your heart, the subtle vibrations you feel deep within, are His whispers, His gentle guidance leading you onward. When everything feels distant or unclear, trust that this is a sacred time meant for seeking, for awakening to truths you could not perceive before. Truth has always been there, but sometimes the heart must be still in order to recognize it. So, my dear one, receive this very moment, for it is within such moments that truth unveils itself. Do not be afraid when hidden things begin to surface. Trust that this is the time when God wants you to see the greater things awaiting you ahead. In the silence, in the stillness of your heart, you will sense the love and truth that God longs to share with you. The things once concealed, the words once unspoken, will find their way to you at the appointed time. And when you welcome them, everything will become clear, bright, and filled with light. Remember that silence is not an ending but a beginning. In that sacred quiet, God is at work shaping transformation within you, even if you cannot yet perceive it. Do not be anxious, for when the time comes, everything will be revealed. Every word unspoken will find its voice, every emotion unshared will find release, and all of it will weave together into the magnificent journey God has prepared for you. Trust this divine orchestration, my child, for God never abandons you, and everything unfolds with purpose in His grand plan. My beloved child, soon you will hear that voice, the one that does not merely touch your ears, but reaches the very depths of your soul. It carries a sincerity that cannot be imitated, a pure vibration your spirit will recognize from the very first moment. It is not loud nor hurried, yet it will make your heart tremble gently, as if a long-lost part of you has just been called home. That person does not come to disturb you, but to remind you that true love still exists. It endures, it breathes, it continues to seek its way toward you, whether you believe it or not. You have walked a long, rugged path, one filled with tests and revelations. You have journeyed through valleys where every shadow within your soul was exposed, where doubt and fear were stretched to their limits. There were nights you lay still in darkness, asking again and again, "Does anyone truly see me? Does anyone truly understand?" You have carried a deep, quiet loneliness, not because you lacked company, but because so few could grasp the weight your soul has borne. You have smiled even as your heart broke. You have reached out in love even when rejected, and you have given of yourself even when you felt empty. And in those very moments when you thought no one noticed, when you believed no one cared, I was there. I witnessed it all. I saw the nights when your mind spun with worry, when silent tears fell upon your pillow, when you wrapped your own arms around yourself and whispered in despair, "Does my existence make any difference?" And the answer is yes, my child. Yes, more deeply than you can ever imagine. You have moved mountains you did not know existed. You have kindled light in distant souls with nothing more than a smile, a word, a small act of kindness. You have planted seeds you may never see bloom, but they have sprouted, blossomed, and spread. Although this journey may seem lonely, you have never truly been alone, for in every breath I am with you, silent, patient, and gentle, and that is also why this person is being drawn toward you, not by chance and not by coincidence, but because there is a deeper order, an invisible current at work beyond the limits of this world. Do you think this is mere coincidence? No, my child. In the divine realm, there are no coincidences, only the intricate orchestration of the Creator. This person is being pulled by the very frequency of your soul. The light within you, even if you are unaware of it, has radiated outward and called them in. Their soul has heard that call, like an echo from long ago, from a place where two souls once made a covenant before entering this life. Before your eyes could recognize them, your soul had already known them in the unseen realm. And now, this encounter is not the beginning of an ordinary affection, but the continuation of a divine plan. Sometimes, the universe brings two people together not so they can hold hands forever, but so they may awaken something dormant within each other. Perhaps they are not meant to stay for a lifetime, but they have come to stir, to heal, and to help one another remember something long forgotten. Every soul carries a lesson, and this person holds a part of that lesson meant for you. They come as a reflection, so that you may see yourself more clearly through their eyes. They arrive not only with emotion, but with a message, not only with longing, but with purpose. My child, listen carefully. Within every word they speak, there are subtle signs that your soul will recognize. Behind every smile, behind every glance, lies a whisper of truth, waiting for you to understand. God rarely speaks through thunder or storm, but through sounds as gentle as breath, through words that seem ordinary yet carry deep meaning. When you meet this person, let your heart be the listener. Do not only hear with your ears, do not only see with your eyes, feel, for the heart is the only place that can understand the language of the soul. You will recognize truth not by reason, but by the vibration of your spirit. It may be a single gaze that fills you with a strange peace, a sentence that brings tears to your eyes, or simply the sense that you have known this person somewhere before. Such moments are not meant to be explained, for they do not belong to the world of logic. They belong to the sacred realm where all souls carry ancient memories of one another. This person has been sent as a mirror. They will make you look within, to see the things you once avoided, and to discover the light you never realized you carried. They may come with love, but that love is not meant merely to fill you, it is meant to transform you. They will help you heal, to remember your true worth, and in return, you will do the same for them, for in every divine connection, there is no giver or receiver alone. Every soul is a gift to the other. Sometimes love is not possession, but awakening, not to hold, but to set free. This person may not stay for a lifetime, but they arrive in divine timing. They come as the answer to prayers you once whispered in loneliness. They come like a ray of light slipping through the door, reminding you that your heart still lives, still loves, still believes. And if one day they must leave, you will lose nothing, for what they awaken within you will remain as part of the journey you were destined to complete. My beloved child, be grateful for this encounter. Whether it is brief or lasting, as gentle as a breeze or as deep as the ocean, it carries within it a sacred purpose. God has sent this person not to confuse you, but to help you remember who you are, to remind you that you are worthy of love, that you are enough, that you are never invisible before His eyes. And when you stand before them, look through the eyes of your soul. Let your heart open wide to receive what has been sent, without judgment, fear, without defense. For in that moment, you will witness the most beautiful miracle of all, that every wound within you begins to close, and that true love needs no promises, it needs only presence. My beloved child, do not rush to decide anything. Allow time and faith to do their sacred work. When God has arranged something, He will also make it clear. You do not need to force or cling to anything. Let love move in freedom, for where there is freedom, there is God, and it is He, not you, nor that person who will write the next chapter of this story in the most perfect way. Therefore, when that voice calls to you, when those eyes find you, simply smile. Do not be afraid. Do not doubt. Recognize that you are standing within a holy moment, one where two souls meet, not to begin something new, but to complete something once left unfinished. And when your heart begins to tremble, let it tremble, for that is the sign of life, the sign that you are being touched by the holiest of things. The love that comes from God flows through you, and returns to him. My child, this is not coincidence, but an ancient promise, a covenant engraved by God Himself upon the timeline of eternity, destined to arrive at the right time, in the right place, with the right person. And when it happens, you will understand that every waiting, every wound, every moment of loneliness you have endured was not in vain. All of it was preparation for this very moment, the moment when you see true love reflected through another's eyes, and through that reflection, you will behold God Himself. My child, I see the walls you have built around your heart. They are not made of stone, but of memories of unhealed wounds, of moments when you trusted and were disappointed, when you loved and were abandoned. You thought those walls would keep you safe. You believed that by keeping your distance, you would never hurt again. But in shielding yourself from pain, you have also locked the door against the healing I am sending you. The wall you call defense is the same wall that keeps my light from entering. I have watched you through long, silent nights, heard your wordless sighs as you lay your head upon the pillow of shattered hope. I have seen you tremble between faith and doubt, between the longing to love and the fear of betrayal. Yet, my child, I have never left you. When you were silent, I still spoke. When you were in pain, I still held your hand, even when you could not feel it. Every tear that fell from your eyes was not wasted, for I have used them to water the seed of faith that is now sprouting within your soul. You have learned to believe that vulnerability is weakness, that opening your heart is dangerous, that trust only leads to defeat. But I tell you this, vulnerability is not a burden, it is where my power is made perfect. When you allow yourself to be seen, to feel, to love, you mirror my image, the one who also let his heart be pierced to redeem humanity. You fear being hurt, yet you forget that it is through the wound that my light enters. It is through the cracks that my grace pours forth. I have sent a soul to you not to break you, but to awaken you. They have come as a gentle breeze passing through your walls, as a small candle flickering within the room you have kept locked for too long. This person was not sent to possess you, but to remind you that not every connection brings pain, not every care is deceit. They have come to show you that love can be made sacred again, that faith is not recklessness, but a return. Through them, I am teaching you to see me, not upon distant heights, but in a kind gaze, a gentle touch, in a presence that listens and loves. But my child, listen closely to my words. Do not be quick to give your heart merely because you feel warmth for a moment. Not everyone who steps into your life is sent by me to stay. There are souls I allow to cross your path only to test your wisdom and maturity, to see whether you still cling to emotion or have learned to discern between connection and destiny. Sometimes, that person is not an eternal gift, but a mirror, reflecting what you truly deserve, so that you may never again settle for less than what I have ordained for you. You must learn to look deeper into the energy of a soul, not merely listen to the words they speak. Every soul radiates a certain essence, and through the Holy Spirit, I will make your heart feel it. When you are near one who belongs to me, you will sense peace even in silence. But when you stand near one I did not send, your spirit will feel unsettled, no matter how sweet their voice may be. This is how I whisper to you, not through your ears, but through the quiet stirrings within. Do not be afraid to let go. Sometimes, what you release is what I never intended for you to keep. Some come to write a chapter, not the whole story. Some come to open your eyes, not to hold your hand for life. When they leave, do not think I have abandoned you. I never take away without preparing something better in return. Every loss you surrender into my hands, I transform into a reward for your soul. You have yet to understand that true love does not lie in possession but in freedom. When I love, I allow choice. When I love, I do not force. When I love, I wait. And that is how I want you to love as well. Do not seek love to fill a void, but love as a soul already complete. For only when you are whole in me can you love without losing yourself. At times, I let you meet the wrong person so you may recognize the right one. I allow your heart to break so you may learn to heal. I let you cry so you may know the worth of joy. Nothing is accidental, my child. Every encounter is woven into my plan. Even separations carry the grace of purpose within them. You may not understand it now, but the day will come when you look back and see that every turning point led you closer to me. When you learn to love without clinging, to trust without proof, and to open your heart while keeping wisdom, you have entered the sacred depth of divine love. Then love will no longer be a game of emotion but a journey of the soul. The one I send will not ask you to prove your worth, for they will already see my light within you. They will not make you afraid, for perfect love casts out fear. They will not exhaust you, for love that comes from me always brings peace. My child, remember that what I arrange always surpasses what you expect. Sometimes I make you wait not to punish, but to prepare. I need you to learn to love as I do, without selfishness, without haste, without fear. True love requires a tender heart to feel, but also a strong soul to discern. When you grow in me, you will realize, not everyone who stirs your heart is destiny. The one who brings you peace in the storm is the one I have sent. And if one day that person must leave, let them go in peace. Do not beg them to stay, for if it is true love, it will never need pleading. If they belong to you according to my will, they will return in a way no one can hinder. But if not, I will turn their departure into the beginning of something new. I never let loss be the end with me. Every ending is merely a comma in the greater story of grace. I want you to understand that courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to keep walking even when fear is present. Just as my only son Jesus knew of the cross ahead, yet still chose to love, you too must learn that same spirit. To love even when it may bring pain, to trust even when disappointment seems near, and to live with an open heart even when the world does not understand. For when you do so, you mirror me, the one who has loved humanity with a love that knows no condition. My child, my love for you is never meant to break you. It only strips away the layers you have built to hide yourself, so that you may return to the very image I created from the beginning, a soul that knows how to love, to trust, and to give. My love does not come to possess you, but to set you free. It does not come to fill a void, but to help you realize that you were never empty in me. When you love with that awareness, your love becomes light for other souls, guiding them too on their way home. Do not let fear cloud your eyes. Let peace be your measure. If a bond draws you away from me, steals your stillness, and burdens your spirit, then it is not from me. But if you feel peace, if you are uplifted and led toward goodness, then that is the sign of my hand at work within that love. Place everything in my hands. Do not hold on too tightly, for what truly belongs to you will never leave you. My beloved child, true love will never make you forget me. It will help you see me more clearly. It will not demand that you choose between faith and feeling, but will unite both in the same breath. When two souls come together in my name, I am in their midst. When they pray together, I listen. When they love one another with faithfulness and humility, I bless them. And that love becomes a living temple, a dwelling place for my presence, where light never fades. Do not hurry, my child. Let everything unfold in my timing. True love does not rush. It arrives like the dawn, quiet, yet certain. When your heart is soft enough to trust, strong enough to forgive, and pure enough to discern, the one I have sent will find you, not by chance, but by the design of heaven. And when your eyes meet, your soul will recognize them at once, without need for reason, for love that comes from me needs no explanation. It only needs faith. Until that day, allow me to keep healing you. Let me dry the tears of the past, remove the chains of fear, and rewrite your story with the ink of hope. Love yourself as I love you, with patience, with kindness, with forgiveness. For only when you love yourself in my light will you be able to recognize what true love is. Remember, my child, I do not call you into love to lose yourself, but to find yourself in me. I do not bring anyone into your life to claim you, but to lead you closer to me. Therefore, open your heart, yet keep your soul anchored in me. When you stand amid a world of illusion, look up, for I am the one guiding your way. And when that person arrives, you will no longer fear, for your soul will know that this love is blessed by me, illuminated by the Holy Spirit, and witnessed by heaven itself. My child, if the love I send into your life brings peace to your heart, then know it is a sanctified love. It does not come to make you tremble, nor to cause you doubt, but to still your soul like calm waters after a storm. Yet, if that love stirs confusion or awakens unrest within, do not fear. Even chaos is a language I use to speak to you. When your heart trembles, it is not a sign of error, but an invitation to look within to see what in you still needs healing. No experience is ever wasted when it is felt deeply. For I am the one who turns every tear into seed, and every wound into light upon the path. I speak these words not to plant fear within you, but to prepare your soul for a new season, a season of revelation. This is the time when what has long been hidden will be brought into the light, when assumptions, illusions, and old beliefs will dissolve to make way for truth. You are stepping into a threshold where truth will no longer be an idea, but a living presence manifesting through people, circumstances, and relationships that I am sending into your life. Truth will no longer be something you read in a book. It will be something you must face with your own heart. And now, my beloved, one of those moments has come. A soul has drawn near to you not by chance, not in haste, but at the exact moment when your spirit has matured enough to perceive the hidden meaning of this encounter. Their courage will awaken the courage within you. When they speak the truth of their heart, you will feel your own truth stirring. When they open their heart, you will sense a quiet longing within yours to trust again. Whether you choose to welcome this love or to let it pass, you will never be the same. For love, in all its forms, is always the sacred teacher of the soul. How many times have you thought your heart could never love again? You once said to yourself, I have had enough. I cannot bear another wound. I have seen you sitting silently in the night, in that dim room where you locked every door of emotion, where the walls you built to protect yourself became chains instead. Yet even in that stillness, I was there. When you thought you had nothing left but breath, I was that breath. When you believed your prayer had vanished into the air, I was the air itself, holding every whisper, every trembling note within your soul. I have heard the unspoken prayers you dared not say aloud. I have seen the secret covenant you made with yourself. I will never lose myself for anyone again. And I smiled, because I knew that this vow was the first step toward learning to love in my light. For love that causes you to lose yourself is not love, but fear disguised as it. Yet love that allows you to remain true to your soul, steadfast and whole, is the love that I bless. You do not realize that even in those barren seasons, I was working in silence. I did not mend your heart with sudden miracles, but with experiences, with time, with stillness. Each morning you rose despite the heaviness in your chest. Each moment you chose forgiveness over bitterness. Each time you dared to smile before your tears had dried. It was then that I was rebuilding you. You thought you were enduring, but in truth, you were being refined. You believed you were losing, but in truth, you were being cleansed, prepared for what was to come. Now, you stand at the threshold of a new chapter, stronger, wiser, and more grounded, not because you no longer feel pain, but because you have learned not to let pain define you. You have learned to rise, not through pride, but through faith. You have learned that true strength is not the absence of falling, but the decision to keep walking after each fall. You are no longer the child who runs from pain, but the soul who dares to face it, knowing that I am present even within your wounds. I tell you this, the old season has passed. The new one dawns like sunlight over the fields of your soul. You have walked through storms of doubt, loss, and silence, and now you can hear my voice more clearly than ever before. Do not be afraid when your emotions are stirred, when your heart trembles amidst uncertainty. That trembling is the sign of life returning, your heart beating again to the rhythm of revelation, no longer echoing the past. Love, my child, is not merely a connection between two people. It is the sacred space where I reveal myself. When you learn to love in my light, you will see that love is no longer a game of feelings, but a journey of transformation. Every person you meet carries a message for your soul. Some come to teach you faith, some to teach you boundaries, some to remind you that your heart can still open. And there are a few whose very presence reminds you that I still dwell in this world, through a glance, a word, or a gentle touch that melts the frost within your heart. I want you to understand that no affection is ever meaningless when seen through my light. Even love unreturned, even bonds that end in silence, even fleeting moments of connection that linger in your mind, all of them carry sacred lessons. For when you love, you touch the most authentic part of yourself, and that is where I wait for you, my child. Let love become the mirror that reflects your soul, not the chain that binds you. If it brings peace, be grateful and keep it. If it brings confusion, see it as a lesson. Ask me, Lord, what are you trying to teach me through this feeling? And I will answer not with thunder or miracles, but through the quiet peace that seeps into your heart. When you learn this, you will no longer fear love. You will not avoid emotion, nor will you cling to it in haste. You will stand within love as one stands in a river, not trying to hold the water, but allowing it to flow, to cleanse, to nourish, and to pass, if that is my will. And if it comes from me, it will not leave, for everything that belongs to me endures. I see within you a flame not of pain, but of longing to be loved, to be seen, to belong. That flame I placed within you from the beginning, for I am love, and you were created in the image of that love. Yet I do not wish this flame to consume you. I wish it to warm the world. Therefore, before I entrust you with earthly love, I need you to learn how to love me. When you know how to love me, you will know how to love rightly without possession, without fear, without despair. You have grown stronger, wiser, and more steadfast. But you must also learn gentleness. Strength is not found in rigidity, but in the ability to melt without losing form. Like iron refined in fire, you have been shaped through suffering to become an instrument of light. I am preparing you for a greater love, not merely to receive, but to give. For when you love with a healed heart, you no longer seek love to be saved, but to save together. I tell you this, do not measure your journey by its outcomes, but by your inner transformation. Whether you receive or release this love, you have already been changed. Every encounter marks a step forward for your soul. Each time you dare to love a little more, you become a little more like me. And that is the true purpose of every journey, not to obtain someone, but to become love itself, as I am. My child, lift your head. The darkness has passed, and the dawn is breaking within your heart. Do not fear your emotions, for I dwell among them. Do not fear to love again, for love is not betrayal, but opportunity. Do not fear change, for change is the breath of the Spirit. Open your heart, live, love, and believe, for everything you go through is leading you closer to me. You were once a soul that fell beneath the night, but now you are one who rises with the light. You were once a trembling child in pain, but now you are a warrior of hope. And in every heartbeat, I hear a new song, the song of one who has been healed, reborn, and called to love. My beloved, never forget that I am not only the Creator, I am the one who abides in love. Each time you love in my spirit, you bring my image to life upon this earth. Therefore, do not close your heart, do not doubt miracles, and do not think that the deepest truths exist only within Scripture. Miracles are still happening within you, in the heart that feels, believes, and waits. You have entered a season where love is no longer a refuge for emptiness, but the fruit of awareness. This love is no longer a hunger to be filled, but the meeting of two souls who know who they are. It comes not to possess nor to erase your being, but as a mirror reflecting the healing journey you have walked. In it, you are no longer one who seeks love to escape loneliness, but one who carries love as part of the light, as a testament that God has healed the deepest wounds within you. And in this very moment, when you no longer strive to grasp, true love arrives gentle, graceful, and profound as the breath of the Spirit. My child, do not tremble before what is coming. Do not let the mind's analysis drown out the sacred rhythm you are walking in. Your life is moving not by chance, but by the unseen current orchestrated by God Himself. The events, the people, the words that seem random, all are woven into the symphony of a greater plan. At times you may feel as though you stand at a crossroads, uncertain which path to take, but know that you are exactly where you need to be. For the hand of God never trembles. He lays each stone upon your path, even when your eyes cannot yet see the shape of the bridge that is slowly emerging before you. The person you are about to meet is not just another person. They are the golden thread woven into the sacred tapestry of your life. They are the bridge between who you once were, the one who endured loss, brokenness, and tears, and who you are becoming, the one rising in light, strong, steady, and filled with peace. Through them, you will come to understand more about yourself, not through words, but through quiet reflection. They will touch the deepest places of your soul, those corners you thought had turned to stone, so that light may enter and soften them. They are not coming to save you, but to walk beside you, to help you see, and to remind you that true love is where both souls are set free. If you ask, why now? The answer is this: because your heart is ready. Once, if this love had come, you would have feared it. You would have doubted, questioned, and searched for reasons to retreat. But today, after walking through the fire, after being refined in solitude, you are no longer afraid to love. You have learned that love is not the miracle that helps you escape pain, but the strength that carries you through it. You have come to know that no one can heal you except God Himself, and when you allow Him to work within your heart, you become someone who can love without dependence, give without fear of loss, and stay without losing yourself. Every encounter carries within it a portion of divine purpose. Some people arrive to awaken us, some to teach us how to let go, and some to walk with us into a new path. This person belongs to the third kind. They are not merely a person, they are a sign that the old season has closed, that your silent prayers through the years have been answered. They are a reminder that God has never forgotten you, that He continues to write your story with silent but perfect precision. And, even though you may not know what comes next, trust that everything has been arranged with a love greater than your understanding. Do not doubt this timing. God does not work according to human calendars. He works to the rhythm of the heart. When your heart has softened, when pride has melted away, when gratitude replaces fear, that is when He sends another soul to walk beside you. This person may not be perfect, but they are chosen. And through their presence, the hidden corners within you will be revealed not for judgment, but for completion. Sometimes, what you need is not someone who mirrors you, but someone who illuminates what you have yet to see within yourself. My child, remember that true love does not come to demand, but to give. It does not ask you to become someone else, but helps you become more of who you truly are. It does not draw you away from God, but brings you closer to Him. When two souls are called by God to meet, their love ceases to belong only to them. It becomes part of His plan of redemption, a beam of light spreading through the world. Therefore, do not be afraid to love. Let this love be a witness of your faith, of the loyalty you have kept through years of testing. And in all that is unfolding, remember this: coincidence is simply the name humans give to the arrangements of God before they realize He is at work. Nothing is random. Every glance, every conversation, every brief encounter has its purpose. Every chance moment is a golden thread connecting His heart to yours. One day, when you look back, you will see the tapestry He has been weaving, and you will weep with awe, realizing that every seemingly small moment carried eternal meaning. You will understand that even in your loneliest hours, He was orchestrating something far beyond your expectations. This is not merely a journey of love, it is a journey of awakening. When you love from awareness, you no longer seek someone to fill your emptiness, but to expand your soul together. When you love in the light, you no longer fear loss, because you know that nothing is ever truly lost in God. When you love with a heart refined by fire, that love becomes a living prayer, where every touch, every glance, every breath becomes an act of gratitude. And when you love in this way, it is God Himself loving through you. Therefore, my beloved child, open your heart. Do not try to understand with your mind, feel with your soul. Allow yourself to be guided. Let this love no longer be a search, but a response to the prayer you once whispered in the dark, to the tears you shed when no one saw. God has heard. And now, He sends someone not to make you forget the past, but to remind you that every loss has been exchanged for grace. They come not to complete you, but to join you in praising the One who has already completed all things. You have walked far enough through the darkness to be worthy of this light. Step forward without fear, for He goes before you, preparing all things. When you open your heart, love will no longer be a risk but a reward. When you believe, fear will dissolve. When you give, you will receive even more. And when you dare to stand still in the present without fleeing, without clinging, you will see the hand of God continuing to weave the tapestry of your life. Each thread of love, faith, and hope is intertwining into a radiant image that reflects His very light. You have walked through seasons of loss, of waiting, of emptiness, seasons that seemed to take everything away, but in truth gave you far more than you imagined. They did not come to break you, but to refine you, to shape and temper your soul into one that stands firm, sees deeply, and looks at life through the eyes of compassion instead of pain. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment you thought you had nothing left, were in fact stones laid upon a new foundation, the place where you learned to see love not as an escape, but as a mirror of the soul. True love does not come to make you forget your pain, but to help you understand yourself through it. It does not arrive to fill a void, but to reflect the light of God within you, the light you once could not see because you were too busy struggling against the dark. And now, having learned what it means to wait, you are beginning to understand what balance truly is, the very thing I desire most for you to grasp. For when new love arrives, the first thing many souls forget is who they were before love knocked on their door. I do not want you to lose yourself in someone else's story. Do not make them the only sky of your life. Do not let every breath depend on their presence or absence. You were not born to orbit around another person, but to shine alongside them like two stars sharing the same sky, each holding its own orbit, yet together making the universe more beautiful. My child, you are your own light. You need no one to prove that you are worthy of love. You were formed by the hands of God, and within your being already dwells His brilliance. Do not let love become a chain. Let it be a stream that enriches the journey. Love is not a refuge, but a field where you and the other may sow seeds, seeds of gratitude, of growth, of faith, and of freedom. If that person brings joy, open your heart and let it flow into your breath. But if they bring confusion, if your heart begins to feel suffocated, step back and breathe. Do not confuse passion with attachment. Do not believe that endurance is proof of love. True love never robs you of peace. It may challenge you, but it will not destroy you. It may move you to tears, but those tears will cleanse you through grace, not drown you in despair. You are not obligated to heal someone who resists their own healing. You cannot carry a soul that refuses to change. You may love, but you cannot replace the process of God within them. There are battles they must face alone, wounds only the Holy Spirit can touch. You are called to love freely, to love without losing your way, to love without silencing your own voice. You can care and still remain centered. You can give and still stay whole. You can stand beside someone without surrendering your soul. Love does not ask you to vanish. It invites you to become more complete in who you are. When you love rightly, you shine brighter, live more peacefully, and walk in freedom. When you love in the light, that love does not make you smaller. It draws you closer to the image of God that has been within you since the beginning of time. There will come a moment sooner than you think, when the space around you begins to shift, when the air feels denser, and your soul senses a subtle movement that language cannot describe. It may come as a chance message, a fleeting glance, a song that plays at the perfect moment, or a dream that stirs your heart. It might even be a soft current of energy running through your body, or the sensation of an unseen hand resting on your shoulder, as if someone has just called your name in a sacred language only your soul understands. Do not ignore it, my child. Do not dismiss it as coincidence, for nothing in the universe of God happens by accident. It is a sign, the first signal, that what I have promised you is beginning to unfold. Those vibrations, those seemingly small occurrences, are the whispers of God woven into the fabric of the physical world. He speaks not only through prayer or scripture, but through the rhythm of life, through other souls, through every event you encounter. Sometimes his message arrives through a stranger you meet by chance, someone who says a single sentence that startles you into recognition of truth. Sometimes he uses an event that appears to be a loss, but is, in fact, a rebirth. And sometimes his words come through songs, through numbers, through repeating moments that happen so often you cannot help but pause and reflect. A song that plays just when your heart needs it, the number 1111 appearing again and again, a recurring dream. None of these are coincidences. They are codes of the Holy Spirit, the language of the universe speaking to your soul, saying, "This is the moment, stay awake, pay attention to the small things, for within them lie the great mysteries." God does not always speak through thunder. He often speaks through a gentle breeze, a quiet intuition, a touch of knowing as delicate as silk that your spirit alone perceives. You will find yourself drawn toward a direction, a person, an idea, not by logic, but by the quiet certainty of your heart, which knows that this is where God is leading you. Trust that pull. Allow the Spirit to guide you through subtle yet profound signs, and resist the urge to control what unfolds. There will be times when you stand at a crossroads, one path safe, the other unknown. And just as you consider turning away, a sign will appear, perhaps a gust of wind, an intuition, or a sudden, peaceful stillness within your heart. That is how God says, "Go ahead, I am here." He may not always speak in clarity, but he always makes his presence known. When you pay attention to the small things, you will see his hand everywhere, in the way light filters through the leaves, in the glance of a stranger, in the words that find you at the exact right time. My child, slow down and listen. Believe in divine coincidence. for it is the language of heaven. When your soul is quiet, you will hear more than sound, you will hear the rhythm of divine intention. And when you trust, you will realize that He is arranging everything with perfect precision. What once caused you pain becomes the doorway for light to enter. What once made you fearful becomes the opportunity for your spirit to rise to a higher realm. Therefore, do not take lightly the signs knocking at the door of your heart. Let every small occurrence remind you that you are not alone, that a divine plan is in motion, that God is speaking to you every day through countless forms. Keep your heart open, your eyes bright, and your soul tender, for it is only in that tenderness that you can hear His call. And when that moment arrives, you will understand that every loss, every season of waiting, every emptiness of the past had a purpose. They were not punishments, but preparations. They were not endings, but beginnings. For it is precisely through those years when you thought you had been forgotten that you were being shaped to recognize true love when it finally comes. And when that person speaks, my child, listen not only with your ears but with your heart, the place where truth can touch without the need for defense. Do not rush to react. Do not interrupt the flow of words pouring out, whether they bring you joy or make your soul tremble with pain. Let them finish. Allow the space between two souls to open, for the moment when someone dares to speak the truth of their heart is sacred. Truth always requires courage to be spoken, and when someone offers it to you, know that you are witnessing an act of faith. People do not bare their hearts to just anyone. They do so only when they feel a presence safe and genuine enough to entrust with their most fragile part. Receive their words as you would receive a river, not to grasp it, but to let it flow through you. For when you listen with love, you no longer seek what is right or wrong, you seek the person. And that, my child, is the only way true love can grow. In this world, many speak to be understood, but few speak to be seen. Yet sometimes, God sends someone to say what He wants you to hear, not in the language of Scripture, but in the language of the human heart. So be attentive. Listen as though it were He Himself speaking through them. After they have poured out their heart, do not rush to respond. You owe no one an instant reply. The world often teaches that silence is weakness, but in truth, silence is a form of strength. It is the space where the heart speaks before the mind interferes. Let your emotions settle like the surface of a lake after the wind has passed, and only when the water becomes still and clear will you see the reflection of truth. Your first reaction often arises from the instinct to protect yourself from being hurt again, from feeling judged, from reliving memories that once broke your heart. But true response does not spring from fear, it comes from peace. It does not hurry, for true love is never in haste. I know, my child, that deep within you, fear still lingers. You fear repeating the same pain, fear being left again with empty hands, fear loving only to watch your faith shatter. You once gave your whole heart, only to receive half-spoken promises, fleeting embraces, and eyes that no longer stayed. You have seen people speak of love while keeping their hearts locked, utter, forever, yet refuse to walk with you through trials. You have felt what it means to love and be taken for granted, to trust and be betrayed, to give and be forgotten. And that fear has made you build walls around your soul, believing they would protect you, yet they only block you from seeing the light. Understand this, my child. Defense is not safety. It is a prison painted with the colors of reason. When you live in fear, you lose the chance to love truly. For love, without openness, becomes only an agreement, a cold exchange between two souls, still guarded behind their own gates. But I have not called you to live that way. I have called you to love with wisdom, a love not blind, but not closed either. This time, I do not want you to love like a child seeking salvation, but like one who knows they are already saved. Do not let your wisdom harden into rigidity, Let it become discernment, a shield, light and flexible. Discernment is not suspicion, but the ability to see beyond the surface of emotion into what the soul is. Speaking. Use it, but do not let it turn into chains. You can be open and still safe. You can love and still be free. Remember, to love does not mean to lose yourself. You can let the light in without letting it burn you. You can give without becoming empty. You can melt without losing your shape. The love that God gives is not meant to consume you, but to expand you. And because you have walked through seasons of brokenness, you are now wise enough to know the difference between a lesson and a companion. Do not fear to distinguish them. A lesson comes to teach you something about yourself. A companion comes to walk with you forward. One appears only for a chapter, the other remains for the rest of the book. Both matter, but do not confuse their roles. There are people sent into your life to awaken you from illusion, to help you realize that you are worthy of far more than you have settled for. And there are others who are sent to build with you, to pray with you, to grow with you. In the light, you must listen to your soul to know who is who. The soul never lies, it is only that you have not been still enough to hear. When you sit in silence, when you stop trying to make sense of everything, you will hear a soft but certain whisper, "This is them." And when that voice speaks, you will know that this is not a repetition, but a beginning. You will no longer need to strain to be loved, no longer need to prove your worth. This love does not come to test your faith, but to affirm it. It does not come to frighten you, but to show you that you have overcome fear. It does not come to pull you back into the past, but to open the way into the future. My child, you have learned enough from the darkness to recognize the worth of light. You have fallen enough to know how to rise. You have wept enough to understand the meaning of a smile. And because of that, this time you can love without losing yourself. For love is no longer a need, but a choice. You no longer seek someone to complete you, but someone with whom you may together glorify God through the union of two souls. When love is built upon that foundation, it no longer breaks easily, for it is held by a hand greater than all others, the hand of the Lord. Therefore, listen, receive, but do not lose yourself. Love, but do not forget to pray. Believe, but do not be blind. Open your heart, yet preserve your peace, for peace is the true measure of love. If a love keeps you awake with worry, makes you shrink back in fear, it is not a love sent by God. But if it calms you, makes you gentler, inspires you to become better, fills you with gratitude and generosity, then it is love that comes from Him. You have lived long enough to see that true love does not come like thunder, but like peace. It is not loud, not rushed. It does not make your heart race, it makes your soul rest. For the love of God does not unbalance you, it brings you back to the center of yourself. When you meet the one He has chosen, you will not feel afraid, you will feel safe. Not because they are perfect, but because between you flows a quiet river of trust and understanding. And if ever your heart trembles, remember this. Trembling is not a sign of weakness, but proof that your heart is still alive, still ready to believe in goodness. As long as you do not let fear define your limits, God will use those tremors to shape them into faith. He does not ask you to be strong all the time. He only asks you to be honest with your feelings. So when someone speaks to you with all their heart, respond not with words, but with presence. Sometimes, simply being there listening without judgment is enough, for every soul longs to be understood. And when you become a safe place for another, you are reflecting the very heart of God, the one who listens to you even when your prayers are silent. My child, this time let love be more than emotion. Let it be a union of souls in the light. Let it lift you, expand you, and make you a bearer of peace. Let every word you speak, every act you do, flow from the awareness that you were loved first. And from that place, you will love without fear, give without lack, and receive without doubt. Believe in that vision, my child, for it is not merely understanding, but the crystallization of experience of pain transformed, of grace that has touched your heart. It is the light God has placed within you to guide your path. Let it lead you to the one whom He has chosen, not for you to be saved, but for you to help save. Not for you to be loved, but for you to love alongside. And when you realize this, you will understand. Everything before now has only been a prelude to the love song He is writing with you. My child, life is not a straight road where you keep walking forward without looking back. Life is a circle where every beginning is intertwined with an ending, and every ending conceals the seed of a new beginning. It is the dance of souls, learning to move in rhythm with time, a melody that rises and falls, sometimes as gentle as the breath of dawn, sometimes as fierce as a sudden storm. Life is not a journey of going outward, but a sacred return, a return to yourself, a return to God, a return to the true love that was planted in your heart from the very beginning. People come into your life at different parts of that song. Some stay only for the opening notes, teaching you a rhythm or tone you had never known. Some arrive in the middle, to sing in harmony with you for a while, and when the refrain begins, they take another path. There are also those destined to remain until the final measure, closing the symphony with you in a peaceful resonance. But, my child, you need not grieve those who have left. They have not vanished. They have simply fulfilled their role in the chapter God had already written. Do not mourn what has ended, give thanks for what it taught you. For every encounter, whether brief or lasting, is a lesson in the journey of the soul. No one enters your life without carrying a message, a small stone to build your inner temple. This connection, the one you are thinking of now, the one you feel as a thread of light stretching across distance, is a gift sent to open your eyes, to help you recognize the worth of your own heart. Through them, you will understand what it means to love without return, to endure with a spirit refined by fire, and to cherish love not for its outcome, but for its presence. You may think you have lost too much, that those you love always leave just when you begin to trust. But I tell you, nothing is ever truly lost in God. Everyone who steps out of your life leaves behind a fragment of light, however small, that you need to become whole. They are mirrors reflecting back to you your own image, revealing the parts of yourself that are still afraid, still weak, still learning to love freely. And when you learn this, the circle's closing will not be an ending, but a doorway into deeper understanding. My child, see every ending as a thank you, not a verdict. Every relationship is a prayer answered, sometimes in joy, sometimes in tears. Yet both are sacred, for both are meant to help your soul mature. Do not ask why they left, ask what they left within you. If you find that you love more, forgive more, and treasure the quiet beauty of simple moments, then even if that bond did not last, it was still a miracle. And if this love is meant to remain, if this is the person God has sent to walk with you through many seasons, you will not need to doubt or prove it. You will recognize it not by reason, but by a quiet peace that flows from within. That peace is not loud, not blazing, but steady like an underground stream nourishing the earth. It does not stir confusion, it brings stillness. It does not make you chase, it makes you want to stay. When love is true, you no longer feel empty, you feel full. A genuine connection does not drain you, it replenishes you, as though you are coming home after a long exile. You do not need to strive to hold it, for it cannot be lost. You do not need to chase it, for it will never flee. It simply is like breath, like light, like a prayer that never ceases within your soul. True love brings clarity, not confusion. You begin to see yourself more clearly, not only in relation to the other person, but in the light of who you truly are. You no longer ask, "Do they love me?" Instead, you ask, "Am I loving rightly?" For real love makes you want to become better, not out of fear of losing someone, but because you realize that God is looking at you through their eyes. You start to love with respect, with gratitude, and with the quiet faith that all goodness flows from Him. And then, like a quiet miracle, you will see this love grow effortlessly. It is like a seed taking root deep in the earth. It does not need daily attention, yet it grows silently and steadily. You will find it strong without being loud, gentle without being weak, and you will understand that love needs no grand vows, only two hearts turning toward the same source of light. When you are with the one meant for you, everything feels strangely simple. You no longer have to perform, to pretend, or to strive. You laugh more easily, breathe more deeply, and feel safe in their presence. This peace does not come from them, but from your own soul recognizing the harmony of the Holy Spirit. This person will not make you feel small, but will remind you of who you are. They will not demand that you change to fit their image, but will encourage you to return to the image God created you to be. My child, the sign of true love does not lie in the first rush of passion, but in the peace that follows. Fleeting emotions may dazzle you, but only true love will calm you. When love comes from God, you do not feel anxious, you feel assured. Not assured of the future, but assured of the present, that you are in the right place, with the right person, at the right time. That peace itself is His confirmation. If a connection leaves you unbalanced, forces you to sacrifice yourself to maintain it, then it is not from God. He does not give love as a test, but as a gift. And a true gift never makes the receiver feel trapped. You can always discern the difference by what you feel inside. True love makes you free, false love makes you afraid. Remember, the love God sends is always creative. It builds rather than destroys. It lifts you up rather than diminishes you. It widens your heart to embrace the world rather than shrinking it in insecurity. When you meet that person, you will see the light in them, illuminating the light in you. Two souls that do not compete but complement, that do not possess but support, that do not judge but understand. And when that happens, you will know that love is God's way of saying, I am here. For between those two souls, there is not only you and them, but also Him, the one who stands in the middle, connecting, protecting, and sustaining. He is the invisible thread that keeps you safe, even when everything around you changes. My child, be grateful for those who have left and those who have stayed. Each one is a note in the symphony God is composing for your life. Some notes are short, others long. Some deep, others high, but all contribute to one melody, the melody of your growing soul. Do not mourn the songs that have ended, for through them you have learned to hear the beauty of the one now playing. And if one day you sit in silence at night, listening to your heartbeat and feeling peace without reason, that is the sign that you are in harmony with God's frequency. He is there in every breath, every glance, every laughter. True love does not make you lose direction. It helps you recognize that He is the one guiding you. Walk gently, my child. Trust in the sacred circle of life, where everyone you meet has been chosen to teach you something. Love, but do not cling. Receive, but do not bind. Open your heart, but do not lose yourself. For in the end, everything returns to the source, to that meeting place between you and God in pure love, where you realize that no one ever truly leaves, for all are different notes in the same divine dance. My child, understand that what I am telling you is not only about love, but about a calling, a call from deep within your soul, from the place where God has placed a flame that the world cannot extinguish. Love is only the doorway. The true message lies beyond it. It is an invitation to return to the divine essence you have forgotten during your long journey of fear and endurance. You once hid the most beautiful, radiant, and powerful parts of yourself, the gifts, ideas, and dreams that God engraved in your soul because you feared being misunderstood, mocked, or rejected by a world too cold to welcome such tenderness. But, my child, it is this very world that thirsts for what you carry within. The world does not need more identical souls. It needs the unique light that only you can shine. Every time you choose silence when you are meant to speak, another shadow lengthens. Each time you shrink back in fear of being hurt, a part of your inner light is veiled. But now, God is telling you, it is time to step forward. The encounter that awaits you is not merely between two human beings. It is the meeting of destiny and purpose. That person will come as a beam of light, rekindling the flame you thought had gone out. Through their eyes, you will see yourself not as the one who once fell, but as the resilient soul rising again. They may admire your appearance, be drawn to your smile or your voice, but what truly makes them stop, even if they cannot explain why, is the light radiating from within you. That light does not come from physical beauty, but from a heart purified by suffering, from faith that did not fade through the longest nights of despair. It is the light of one who has known loss yet remains unbitter, who has been broken yet still chooses to love, who has been wounded yet continues to believe in goodness. That light is your mission. Do not hide it any longer. Do not fear that the world will not understand, for not everyone is meant to. Only those sent by God will recognize it. They will not ask you why, they will simply know they need what you carry. My child, it is time to share this without hesitation. It is time to live fully in the part of you that is creative, inspired, courageous, and divine. You once believed you were small, but God never creates anything small. He plants within each person a spark of His own essence, and your task is to let that spark burn, not to conceal it beneath the shelter of fear. Do not worry that your light will dazzle others, for only unready souls fear the light. Those who are called will come to you, as travelers seeking a lamp in the night. In the days ahead, you will stand at crossroads where your choices will be tested, not by reason, but by faith. Some doors may look right, logical, and safe from the outside, but are empty within. Others may seem uncertain, yet overflow with peace. Remember, my child, true faith is not believing when everything is clear, but walking when only the light of God illuminates your next step. You will face trials that demand more patience than ever before. Some will doubt you, call you foolish, or accuse you of chasing illusions. Voices around you will try to pull you away from your path, insisting that what you feel is not real, urging you to be more practical, more sensible, more like everyone else. But, my child, do not let them define your dream. Do not let the world, which never truly understood you, make you question the voice God placed within you. That voice is the true compass of your soul. It knows the way, even when your eyes do not. It knows what brings peace and what is merely an illusion. When confusion arises and the noise of the world grows loud, return to stillness. Do not seek answers in the crowd, seek them in the quiet. Take a deep breath, let the wind move through the empty spaces within you, and ask yourself, what brings me peace? Then follow that. Peace is the language of the soul, and that language will never deceive you. You have long been accustomed to listening to others more than yourself, but now it is time to trust that voice within. That is how God speaks to you. When you are silent, you will hear Him. When you are busy fearing, His voice is drowned out. Do not mistake God's silence for His absence. When He is silent, it is not because He has left you. It is because He wants you to listen to your soul, where He resides. My child, there will be days when you feel you are walking against the current, alone on a path few choose. But do not forget, you were made to be different. All who carry a divine calling must pass through the season of being misunderstood. Even Jesus was called mad, rejected, and mocked, yet He kept walking, for He knew who sent Him. And today, He speaks to you as well. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Your faith does not have to be perfect, only sincere. You may still tremble, still doubt, still worry, but every time you choose faith over fear, you grow in the Spirit. Each time you choose to remain in the light instead of hiding in the dark, you become more and more the person God has seen in you from the very beginning. My beloved child, the meeting that lies ahead is part of this great awakening. That person will not come merely to love you, but to remind you of who you truly are. When they look into your eyes, you will feel something strange, as though they are seeing the part of your soul you once forgot. The light within you will mirror the light within them, and together, those two flames will form a radiant brilliance strong enough to illuminate the path for other souls. But remember, do not lean entirely on them. They are not coming to do the work for you, but to rekindle what has always been within you. They are the awakener, not the guide. You and they are both instruments of God in a grander plan. And when you understand this, you will no longer cling, no longer fear loss, no longer let loneliness steer your way. You will love with the freedom of one who knows they belong to the light. There will be subtle trials, situations that call you to choose between safety and the voice of your soul. You may lose the approval of some, you may be met with doubt or misunderstanding, but in return, you will gain something far greater, the peace that only those who walk in their divine calling can know. That peace does not come from circumstances, but from the union between you and the will of heaven. My child, be brave and live your calling fully. Do not live merely to be accepted, live to be used. God does not choose the perfect, He chooses the willing, and you are willing. Every wound, every fall, every hidden tear has been part of His preparation for this very moment. You thought yourself weak, yet He saw your strength. You thought yourself small, yet He saw one who was sent, so fear no more. When you step out and live in the light within you, He will make a way. When you speak what He has placed in your heart, He will give you the words. When you act in faith, He will complete the rest. Remember only this: peace is the sign of the right path. If something brings confusion, pause. If it brings peace, move forward. Peace never lies, for it is the voice of God within your soul. My beloved one, sit for a moment not to analyze further, but to truly listen. Beneath all sounds, all conversations, all the hurried rhythms of life, there is always a deep, gentle stillness, like the breath of God enveloping all creation. In that stillness, the mind grows quiet, the heart opens, and your soul begins to remember what it has always known since the dawn of creation, that you have never been separated from His source of life. Silence is not emptiness, my child. It is the fertile soil where the seed of wisdom takes root. It is the place where God speaks in the language of no words, where all true answers are found without the need for reasoning. When you stop and turn inward, you will hear the underground stream of peace, a stream that never runs dry, no matter how turbulent the outer world may be. In it, every question grows lighter, every fear dissolves like morning mist beneath the sun. There flows within your soul a sacred current, a place where all wisdom pours forth, where grace continuously descends. Each time you return to that stillness, you do not go anywhere new. You are coming home to yourself, to the one who has always known who you are, even when you have forgotten. The world may label you, may praise or condemn you, but the one within sees only the eternal truth. You are the light kindled by His own hand. That wellspring of wisdom does not dwell in heavy books or in the words of others, but in your deepest breath. It is not loud, not boastful, yet it stands firmer than any argument, gentler than any comfort, and more faithful than any hand you have ever held. For God Himself is that wisdom not outside of you, but within you, in every heartbeat, in every gaze, in every moment when you choose love. My child, how many times have you sought answers in the world? You ask others what is right or wrong. You wait for signs, for advice, for prophecy. Yet the miracle is this: all the guidance you need has long been within you, simply waiting for you to listen. When you grow still, you will realize that His voice has never been silent. It has always whispered, soft as the wind, "This is the way, walk in it." But because you have been too busy listening to the noise, you thought that God no longer spoke. No, my child, He still speaks. He has simply chosen to speak through the quiet. Do not seek Him in distant places, in lofty mountains or deep seas, in the words of others, or in magnificent miracles. He is here, in this very moment, within your breath, in every pause when your heart grows still. It is there that you will sense life moving through you, gentle, yet full of divine authority. When you touch that life, you will no longer see yourself as small. You will understand that you and God have never been separate, that He is in you, and you are in Him. In every situation of life, remember this: before reacting, before speaking, before deciding, return to that still place within, for only there can you discern what is true and what is illusion. When you wish to know what is good, when you need to discern what truly belongs to you, do not rush to ask the world, ask your soul. Enter the deepest chamber of your being, where your inner light meets the vastness of the One who shaped it. There you will hear the clearest answer, surpassing 1,000 words: peace. Peace is not the absence of trials, but the presence of God within them. When you feel calm even though the storm has not passed, it is the sign that you are hearing the voice of your soul. Conversely, if something stirs restlessness in you, no matter how reasonable it may appear, it is not His way. Peace is the language of God. He does not speak through panic, He speaks through stillness. My child, cultivate the habit of listening to that stillness every day, as though tending a small candle in your heart. At first, it will be difficult, for your mind is used to noise, accustomed to constant doing, proving, achieving. But the longer you sit in silence, the brighter that candle burns. One day, it will blaze into the flame of insight, a flame no wind can extinguish. And in that sacred quiet, you will discover something wondrous. You have never been alone. Each time you think you are lonely, it is only because you have been listening too long to the voices of the world. When you turn inward, you will find God waiting, His gaze tender, unhurried, without reproach, smiling like a patient father watching his lost child finally return home. He does not ask where you have been. He simply opens His arms, and within that embrace, every wound begins to heal. Do not think stillness is useless. It is within silence that the greatest things are born. A seed needs darkness to sprout, an artist needs space to paint, and the soul needs quiet to hear its own calling. The more you dwell in noise, the further you drift from your center. But when you touch stillness again, you will see that all the chaos outside is but ripples upon the surface, while you are the deep water beneath, untouched, unmoved, profound. Stillness not only allows you to hear God, it also helps you recognize what within you has yet to be reconciled. When you sit in silence, suppressed emotions rise, painful memories return. Do not fear them. Let the light within you look upon them without judgment, without rejection. It is in that very moment that healing happens. God does not heal through avoidance, but through acceptance. He does not erase your past. He transforms it into fertile soil from which your soul will bloom. My beloved child, trust this current. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, close your eyes and take a deep breath. You will feel it. It is the unceasing pulse of the Spirit within you, patient, steady, eternal. No matter how far you wander or how unworthy you feel, that rhythm remains, waiting for your return. It is the living proof that you are loved, not for what you do, but simply for who you are. One day, you will see that everything you ever sought outside, comfort, recognition, belonging, has always existed within that stillness. For there, you and God are one. When you are in Him, you no longer need to prove yourself, nor fear loss, nor chase after anything. You simply exist, and that very existence becomes a prayer. Therefore, my child, whenever the world exhausts you, whenever you feel lost amid the clamor of countless voices, return. Return to your breath, your heart, the quiet place where He waits. Let every thought dissolve like smoke, every worry fall away like leaves, until only you remain pure, luminous, whole. In that moment, you will no longer seek God, for you will know He has never left you. You had only forgotten to pause and feel. Every human life, my child, is a map of crossroads. No one journeys through this world without facing turns that make the heart tremble, those sudden bends where the soul must choose between light and shadow, between the call of the Spirit and the noise of the world. Some paths gleam with gold, beckoning with promises of safety, fame, or success. Others are dim and uncertain, demanding faith over sight. Yet it is along those obscured paths that God most often hides Himself, waiting for the soul, brave enough to trust the unseen whisper of His call. The world will tell you that you must hurry, decide quickly, and seize what you want before someone else reaches it first. It teaches you to chase artificial light where everything glitters but quickly fades, where every laugh is loud enough to drown the emptiness within. The world insists that if you slow down, you'll be left behind. But God, the one who understands the rhythm of every soul, teaches you a different tempo, the rhythm of trust and patience, of footsteps that listen to the voice of the earth beneath them. My child, heaven's wisdom is never in haste. Everything that belongs to God carries the breath of endurance like a seed that needs time to sprout, like the sun that rises faithfully even when hidden behind dark clouds. When you learn to move slowly, you begin to see what hurried eyes cannot. You will realize that every door that does not open for you is not rejection, but protection. You will come to understand that what you lose is never greater than what God is preparing for you. Haste always makes you think you are in control of your life. Yet in truth, haste is the mask of fear, fear of missing an opportunity, fear of being forgotten, fear that if you do not take hold, nothing will remain. Meanwhile, the wisdom of God gently invites you to pause, to breathe, to listen, for only when you are still can you hear His voice, not in the storm, but in the whisper of the evening wind. He does not force you to choose. He simply invites you to walk to the rhythm of peace, where every decision is born of love, not fear. My child, you have made choices when your heart was still restless, and you have seen their results: exhaustion, confusion, emptiness. But when you learned to be silent, to wait, and to pray, you discovered something else. Decisions made from peace are never wrong. You do not need to know everything before stepping forward. You only need to know that you are not walking alone. Each time you whisper, "Guide me," that is the very moment God places His hand upon your shoulder, and the path becomes visible, even if it is still dark. There will be moments in life when no one can tell you which way to go. Friends may love you, but they only see a fragment of the story. Books may inspire you, but they cannot reveal God's unique intention for your soul. Experience may be helpful, but the experiences of others can never replace your own relationship with the Creator. For each soul is a poem of its own, written with a different brushstroke of divine intent. And only He, the author of that poem, knows what the next line should be. When you stand before a difficult choice, do not try to calculate what seems most advantageous. Ask instead, what brings the deepest peace within me? Do not be afraid of that feeling, for peace is the voice of the soul when it is in communion with God. It is not loud, not demanding, not insistent. It simply rests there, gentle as morning light, inviting you to walk forward in trust. And once you choose peace over fear, everything else will find its rightful place. My child, human understanding is but a flickering candle, trembling in the wind of desire and fear. A single gust can extinguish it. But divine understanding is the sun. It needs no shelter, depends on no weather, and shines with radiance even behind clouds. When you are connected to that source, You no longer worry about direction. You will see its light unfold upon your path, not revealing the whole future, but enough to take one more step in faith. There will be times when delay feels like punishment, but it is in truth preservation. God's waiting is never to discourage you, but to prepare you, to make you ready to receive what He has planned. If you were to receive too soon, even a blessing could become a burden. But when you are prepared, you will no longer need to grasp. He will place it gently and naturally into your hands. True faith is always intertwined with patience. Faith without waiting is faith of the lips. Faith that waits in silence is faith of the soul. When you wait in peace, you are declaring your trust that God knows better than you. And it is in that very moment that He is at work quietly, carefully, arranging all things in ways far beyond your understanding. The world measures wisdom by speed, but God measures it by trust. The wise are not those who know everything, but those who know when to pause and listen. Sometimes a single step back in silence becomes the greatest leap forward on the spiritual path. When you are willing to step back and look, you begin to see the whole picture, where every pain, every loss, and every delay carries within it a divine message from heaven. My beloved child, learn the sacred art of slowing down. Walk in the rhythm of grace. When you align yourself with divine timing, every decision becomes as light as breath, no longer a burden, but a response. You will no longer struggle to choose among many directions, for the right one will reveal itself in the light of peace. In that moment, you will understand that you no longer need to control your life, for the one who holds it all is walking beside you. Do not fear the seasons of silence, nor panic when one door closes before another opens. It is within that quiet space that God prepares you for what He has promised. Just as a seed must remain in the soil before breaking through the surface, you too need a time of darkness in the soil of faith. When the moment comes, the seed will rise through the earth without anyone telling it to, because it hears the call of the light. So too, my child, let your soul learn to hear that call. Let every decision, great or small, begin with a simple prayer: lead me. Those words are not a sign of surrender, but of union, where your will and His will become one. When you speak them with your whole heart, He will never let you lose your way. One day, you will look back and realize that every time you slowed down, every time you chose the voice of peace over the noise, those were the turning points of your journey. For in each of those moments, you chose light over fear, and that light was God growing within you. Therefore, my child, when you stand at the next crossroad, do not let your heart be driven by haste. Close your eyes, take a breath, and remember you never walk alone. His light does not only shine upon the road ahead, it glows within you. And when you walk in that light, even if you do not know where you are going, you will still arrive at the place where God has been waiting, arms open, saying, "You have chosen well, my beloved." Life does not always teach us what is pleasant, and not everything we experience will feel easy or comfortable. But the truth that God wants you to understand is this: sometimes it is pain itself that becomes necessary for the growth of the soul. Do not let suffering make you collapse, nor let trials make you doubt the love of the one who created you. For that love may lead you along rugged paths, through dark valleys where no light seems to shine, but it is there that you will find the most precious lessons. The light at the mountaintop can only be seen after the dark days, after patient steps over the sharp stones. Every hardship carries a purpose. Every drop of sweat falls for a reason. God does not bring you through trials to break you, but to refine you, to make you stronger, wiser, and, most importantly, to fill you with the peace that only those who have endured can truly understand. There will come moments in your life when nothing seems to go according to plan, when you feel as if you cannot go on. Yet in those very moments, God is closest to you, guiding you through difficult turns, preparing rewards only the resilient can receive. You need not fear the uncertain road ahead, for in the darkness, God has already lit a lamp for you, a light that only you can see, a flame that guides your steps through the night. The one who loves you most will never let you walk through the valley alone. He may not always speak in clear words, but he will always be the quiet presence within your heart when everything else seems to crumble. He knows that to see the beauty of life, you must first endure the rain, the cold winds, and sometimes the starless nights. And when you finally step out of the darkness, you will find the light brighter than ever before. For only after walking through hardship can you truly understand the value of peace, the richness of grace, and the depth of joy that not everyone can feel. Remember, my child, knowing what is truly good for you does not come from haste or from decisions made in fleeting moments. It comes from closeness to the source, from returning to the heart that God placed within you from the beginning. When you return to the source, you do not merely seek advice, you seek healing. Only God, the one who created, you can truly understand what nourishes your soul, for He knows you more deeply than you know yourself. You may seek guidance from friends, from family, or from the books you read, but even when all of these offer wise counsel, there will still be moments when no answer can be found. When the voices around you fall silent or uncertain, that is the time to turn inward to still your heart and listen. Do not be anxious or impatient when no one responds right away, for God will never leave you lost amid the noise of the world. He is always beside you in every heartbeat, in every breath, and in every moment you seek peace within your soul. When you draw near to the source, you will not only be guided, you will be healed. God's love is not something outside of you, nor is it a treasure you must search far to find. It has always been within you, waiting to shine forth. God does not see you by appearances or measure you by what you show to the world. He sees every motive, every longing, and every wound you have endured. Only He understands the reasons behind your actions, and only He knows precisely what you need to take your next step forward. You may seek affirmation from others, but when you seek guidance from God, you will come to understand what truly matters. You will see that not everything the world calls success or happiness is genuine. Sometimes what others call success may not bring you the peace your heart truly needs. What you need is not external satisfaction but inner fullness. When you turn to God for direction, you are not simply asking for worldly success or recognition, you are seeking wholeness. You are seeking a way to live a life that is real, not one spent pleasing others, but one that pleases God and remains true to your own being. The world may teach you how to gain the things everyone values, wealth, reputation, achievement, but these cannot help you see what is true. The only truth, my child, is love. Love is the key that opens every door, and love will lead you into a life that is not only successful but filled with meaning. The love of God helps you see that you, with all your weaknesses and imperfections, are a masterpiece in His eyes. When you understand this, when you rest in that love, you will no longer feel lacking, for you will realize you already have everything you need. When you live not to please others but to walk in the will of God, you will find yourself free. You will no longer worry about whether you are enough or whether you are seen. Freedom comes when you live in truth, with sincerity toward yourself and toward your Creator. And as you walk along that path, you will feel peace continuously unfolding within, because you will know you are walking in the right direction. My beloved child, trust in the guidance of God. Let Him lead you, for He knows who you are and what you need. When you live in communion with the One who created you, you will see that nothing is more precious than peace of soul, and nothing is more valuable than the freedom found in His love. This is the path to true fulfillment, not born from outer success, but from inner wholeness. My beloved child, in this life, guidance does not always arrive with the roar of thunder. Sometimes the call from God comes softly, through moments of stillness, through a sudden intuition, or through what seems like coincidence, but happens with divine precision. The voice of the Spirit never competes with the noise of the world. It does not shout or demand attention. Instead, it waits for you to find silence within your soul so that you may hear Him. It is like the light of dawn resting gently at the edge of the curtain, tender, patient, waiting only for you to open your heart and look toward it. The guidance of God cannot be found in haste or in the heat of quick judgment. To receive His direction, there is one essential act you must learn: stillness. Stillness is not merely the absence of words, it is the quieting of all anxieties, desires, and pride. When you shed the layers of fear and self-importance, you begin to sense His guidance. You begin to hear that gentle, yet unmistakable voice within your heart. This voice does not impose, it leads. It does not command with fear, it draws you forward with love. You see, most of the beautiful things in life do not come in the way you expect. They do not appear in blinding light or with a resounding call from above. They arrive in simplicity, in the quiet spaces where your heart no longer trembles, where your spirit is calm enough to listen. Each time you open your heart, each time you pause to hear the whisper of the Spirit, you will feel a peace that the world cannot comprehend, a sense of safety that needs no explanation. To discern God's guidance, you must learn the art of self-mastery. You must learn to release fleeting desires, the glittering but shallow distractions, the things that captivate your senses but starve your soul. The world will always parade its shining illusions before you. It will offer ambitions and expectations that push you to chase endlessly. But in those moments, you must ask yourself, is this good for my soul? Does this path widen the compassion, patience, and truth within me? What is truly good for you is not what brings momentary satisfaction, but what helps you grow in faith and kindness. Authentic guidance from God will never demand that you betray your integrity. You will never have to choose between truth and genuine peace. The right path will always nourish the calm within you, never drain it. You will know this when you face challenging choices, when you are stretched thin, tested by life's uncertainties. And though those trials may tire you, you will not feel abandoned. Instead, you will sense a harmony between your soul and God, as if everything is aligning with divine purpose. That harmony is the clearest sign of true guidance. When you feel at peace within yourself, in unity with what is highest in you, you are on the right path. Every trial will strengthen, not break you. You will come to see that even when you are pulled by difficult decisions, you remain alive, resilient, and full of meaning. The pain and the challenges are not punishments, they are instruments through which God refines you into a stronger being, a clearer soul, one who shines with wisdom and grace. Each choice in life becomes a lesson when you learn to seek guidance in stillness. Do not rush, my child. Do not let fear or uncertainty drive you into hasty decisions. Do not let the noise of the world make you lose your way. True decisions arise from the depths within you, where only God knows who you are and what you need. When you draw near to Him, when you learn to live in peace and quietness, you will realize that every question in life finds its answer in the light of His guidance. Remember that God is not only the one who created you, but also the one who guides your every step. He never abandons you, even when you feel alone or lost. He is here, right within your heart, and the peace you feel inside is the very sign of His presence. When you begin to live according to His guidance, you will see your decisions become clear. His direction will never lead you into darkness, but always toward the light. It will never drain you of energy, but rather fill you with vitality, as if you are walking exactly on the path meant for you. When you trust in God's guidance, you will learn to see everything in life as an opportunity to grow. Every difficulty will no longer be a burden, but a precious lesson. Every challenge will not make you fall, but reveal to you how strong and steadfast you have become. You will come to understand that every step, every decision, Every choice is part of God's grand design for your life. My beloved child, in every moment that you live in stillness and trust, you are living in harmony with God. When you no longer chase after empty promises of the world, when you stop hastily seeking shallow things, you will realize that God has already given you everything you need. He has placed within you incredible abilities, dreams, and gifts, and when you learn to live under His guidance, all these will flourish abundantly within you. Never forget that true guidance never comes in haste. It arrives when you are ready to hear the call in silence, when you have learned to dwell in His peace. God will guide you not through noise or commotion, but through a deep inner calm. When you live according to that rhythm, you will never feel lost, for you will know that you are walking in His light. Therefore, live in peace, trust in God's guidance. Do not let the voices of the world cause you to doubt. Do not let haste or confusion rob you of your inner peace. When you learn to live by the leading of the Spirit, you will find that every decision arises from the peace within your heart, and that peace is the very mark of what is right. My dear one, one of the greatest mistakes you can make in this life is to think that the sacred can be separated from the ordinary. You often believe that spiritual life belongs only to moments of prayer, to quiet hours, to those elevated times of connection with God. But the truth is, every moment of your life, every decision you make, every relationship you build, every opportunity that comes your way holds sacredness within it. Each of these is a thread, some small, some great, but together they weave a magnificent tapestry, the tapestry of your life. When you come to realize this, you will see that your life is not a chain of random or meaningless events, but rather a vibrant and meaningful journey guided by an invisible divine power. And when you begin to face each decision in life not with anxiety, haste, or mere instinct, but with listening, reflection, and prayer, you are opening the door for God to lead you in every step you take. Each time you pause and ask yourself, is this aligned with the plan that God has for me? That very moment you are inviting a magnificent tapestry to be woven from threads of harmony and purpose. Every time you seek the Creator's guidance before acting, you are placing each step on the exact path He has laid out for you, where the threads of your life intertwine into a wondrous picture that only God can fully see. My child, life is not a simple journey. There will be times when you feel lost, when you find yourself at a dead end, and when you feel as though you have lost your way. Those moments are not signs of punishment from God. No, the one who loves you never punishes you. He teaches you, He guides you, and through those challenges, He helps you understand the importance of every decision and every step along the way. The world may make you feel that life is harsh, but you must remember that everything you encounter is part of the process. God is working within you. It is not an easy journey, but it is the path that helps you grow stronger, wiser, and more loving. Life only becomes harsh when you refuse to listen to His gentle guidance. When you do not open your heart to receive the lessons of life, when you ignore the call of God, you will feel weary, anxious, and directionless. But when you open your heart, when you listen, and when you allow His divine guidance to walk beside you, you will see that everything in your life has a reason, and every challenge becomes a precious lesson. The divine guidance that God gives you is not control. He does not wish to take away your freedom or force you to live in a way that makes you feel less yourself. In truth, His guidance is the light that illuminates your freedom. You are not a puppet in His hands, but a companion in the journey of creation. God does not want you to be confined by anything. He wants you to choose freely, to follow the calling of your heart, and to discover what truly nourishes your soul. When you pray, when you seek His direction, you are not abandoning your will. You are aligning that will with the wisdom of God, a wisdom that knows best what is truly good for you. Thus, prayer can change everything, not because it manipulates destiny, but because it brings you back to truth. When you pray, you are not merely seeking an outward change, but an inward one, a transformation in how you see life, how you face challenges, and how you dwell in the peace of God. Prayer helps you stop resisting what was never meant for you and start walking toward what has always been waiting ahead. When you face difficulties, you will realize that divine guidance does not always come in clear or easy forms. Sometimes it comes as a gentle feeling, a passing thought, a dream, or even an unexpected stirring within your heart. God does not speak only in moments of prayer, He speaks in every moment of your life. When you learn to hear that voice in peace, everything becomes clearer, every choice becomes lighter, and when you follow that guidance, you will find yourself living in alignment with your true nature, no longer swept away by fleeting desires or the temptations of the world. The peace you find when you live under the guidance of God is a peace that cannot be violated or broken. It is the kind of peace that only those who dwell in His presence can truly feel. When you act according to that divine direction, you will never feel as though you are doing wrong, for you know you are walking upon the path that God has set apart for you. Divine guidance helps you realize that no matter what difficulties or trials you may face, there will always be peace within your soul, because you know that God is leading you step by step. At times, you will encounter crossroads that leave you uncertain, moments when you stand before great decisions that stir confusion within you. But you must remember this: each time you return to prayer, each time you seek stillness within your soul, you will always receive guidance from God. His direction is not about control, but illumination, a light given to your freedom, so that you may live a life of meaning and fullness. My beloved child, never forget that prayer is not an attempt to manipulate destiny, but a way of harmonizing yourself with God, an act of surrender that allows you to walk freely on the path He has already drawn for you. When you pray, you do not merely change the world around you, you also change yourself. You no longer live in fear but in trust in divine guidance, trust in the choices that you know have been prepared by God's own hand. Therefore, live in peace, always. Keep seeking God's direction, and remember that you are walking rightly when you live under His divine guidance. Every step, every decision, every trial is a part of the greater plan that God has designed for you. And when you live according to that guidance, you will see that everything in your life becomes full of meaning and purpose. My beloved child, maturity is not a path paved with roses, nor is it wrapped in the soft fabric of comfort. It is a road whose steps are never straight, they wind and twist, rise and fall. Yet even though that road may not always be easy, there is one thing you will clearly feel: peace. Peace does not come from attaining everything at once, but from embracing the journey itself, understanding that every step carries a lesson, every trial is an opportunity to know yourself more deeply. The wrong path, no matter how appealing it may seem, will always bring restlessness. That unease will never leave you if you walk into choices misaligned with your soul. It will appear as heaviness in your chest, as hurried breaths, as sleepless nights when peace escapes you. And most importantly, you will feel it in your body, in every cell, in every heartbeat. Those are the signs God has planted within you, so that you may recognize when you are going the wrong way. That unrest is not a curse, but a divine alarm, a chance to turn back, to rediscover yourself, and to walk once again upon the path that God has already prepared for you. You must learn to listen not only with your mind, but with your body and your soul. At times, your intellect may fail to recognize what is right, but your heart and body will know. When you stray, your body will respond. When you do not live according to God's guidance, you will feel it in the irregular beat of your heart, in the tension of your frame. But when you walk rightly, when you live by the voice of your soul, you will feel peace flowing through every cell, in every breath, like a cool stream, washing away all worry. Divine guidance does not come only through stillness, but also through moments of confusion and unrest. God leads you not only through the calm but through the storms of your life as well. In those times when you do not understand what is happening, when your soul feels disturbed and uncertain, that is precisely when you must return to God more than ever. When you seek His guidance, when you pause to ask Him, you will receive an answer, though it may not come immediately. God does not need to answer right away, but He will always respond to you in a way you can recognize, in a way that you most need. Therefore, learn to be still and listen. Learn to hear from within, from the depths of your soul. Sometimes, you will not find the answers in the noise of the world, in the advice of others, or in thick books. Sometimes, the answer can only come when you choose to be silent, when you return to yourself and to God, and that is why you must speak with Him every day. For your mind, my child, can so easily forget. It can be swept away by the noise of the world, by the words of those around you, by passions and ambitions. But when you pray, when you speak with God, you will remember the truths you have forgotten. You will remember why you exist in this life, and you will recognize the things that truly matter, the values you must never let slip away. The world, my child, may tell you that your worth is measured by your achievements, by what you have accomplished, by the things you possess. The world will tell you that love only has meaning when it is proven through possession, through easy words, or through impulsive actions. It teaches you that speed, quickness, and the ability to achieve everything fast are the marks of strength. But heaven's wisdom teaches you otherwise. True worth is not found in what you attain, but in who you are. Love is not something to be owned, but something free and unforced. And true strength does not come from haste, but from patience, from endurance, from knowing how to wait for the right time. You must learn to see the world as God sees it. Do not let yourself be carried away by the fleeting values the world promotes. Do not measure yourself by what others perceive. Understand that your worth is never determined by accomplishments, but by integrity, kindness, and patience. And when you learn to live according to these values, you will feel peace in your soul, a peace not dependent on external things, but flowing from living in alignment with your divine nature. When you speak with God, you will remember these truths. You will return to your core values, and everything around you will become clearer. You will realize that nothing in this life is more important than the peace of the soul, the harmony between heart and mind, the steadfastness of faith. When you grasp this, you will no longer chase after shallow goals, but will live by the rhythm of grace, where patience, compassion, and truth guide every decision you make. The world may tell you that to succeed, you must move fast, have much, and constantly prove your worth. But when you seek God's guidance, you will see that true success is not about obtaining everything in a short time, but about living authentically, living in peace, living in love, and understanding. That is the success God has prepared for you. When you live under divine guidance, you do not live in fear, but in complete trust in His presence. Every decision you make will no longer be driven by fear of loss or anxiety about the future, but will be led by the love and peace that God gives you. Remember, my child, peace does not come from having everything, but from knowing what is enough, from understanding that God has already given you all you need to live a full and meaningful life. When you learn to live by divine guidance, you will feel free, no longer bound by the standards of the world. You will live a true life, not to please others, but to please God and your own soul. And when you do this, you will realize that you are living in a profound peace that only those who walk under the guidance of the Spirit can ever feel. My beloved child, when you come to the source seeking understanding, do not come only with requests, do not come merely to ask for answers to your confusion. Come with an open heart, open not only to what you wish to hear, but to what you need to learn. Come with humility and gratitude, for these are the keys that open the heart, that help you recognize that life does not always provide immediate answers, but it always brings opportunities for change, for growth, and for transformation. When you come to God, it should not be to ask that everything happen according to your own will, but to listen, to understand the things that lie beyond the questions you ask. Sometimes, answers do not come in words but in the changes within you, the transformation of your heart, the quiet shifting of your inner being. These are what God truly desires you to see. You may not always receive clear explanations, but He will always give you a readiness to receive what is unknown, an openness to walk a path that is not always clearly seen. Do not expect everything to be easy. You will never understand everything in a single moment, for true understanding is a process, not an instant event. When you pray, when you come before God, come with calmness in your heart. Lay all your worries and questions into His hands, and at the same time, allow your heart to truly listen. Gratitude helps you realize that not everything that happens in life is punishment or hardship, but rather precious lessons that God is teaching you, opportunities for you to step into a new season of spiritual maturity. When you approach Him with humility, you are not merely seeking quick answers but seeking transformation. This transformation may not always be easy to recognize, but you will feel it through the gradual changes within your soul. The answer will not always come as clear and easily understood words. Sometimes it arrives in the quiet, unfolding within you. When you live in stillness and humility, you will see that divine guidance does not always require explanation. Sometimes it is simply the readiness to receive. There are moments when you do not recognize it right away, but every answer is slowly ripening within you. They do not appear instantly. With time, as you grow more humble and more attentive, the answers will emerge as a deep and gentle understanding within your heart. God does not always send explanations, but He places in you a readiness to recognize what is right. This readiness is not just a mental state, but a widening of the soul, as you come to realize that not everything in your life can be understood at once. When you are ready, when your heart is open, and you trust in God's guidance, you will see the path before you gradually light up, even if you cannot see every step. You will no longer view your path as a tangled web of confusion, but as a journey where every step has a purpose, every turn has meaning. The light may not always illuminate the entire road, but you will realize that each step is guided by God's peace and love. If you could see your life from a higher perspective, as though looking upon a completed tapestry, you would see that every moment, every delay, every loss, and every unexpected turn holds meaning. Each thread of your life, even those that once seemed random, contributes to a harmonious and beautiful design. Yet, you can only see those threads clearly when you view your life from God's perspective, from a height not always visible while you are still standing on the ground. From where you stand, you may see only one strand at a time, but each has its own purpose. That is why you must trust the Weaver, the one who has created every thread of your life. Even when you feel weary or disheartened, you cannot yet know the full meaning of each event until you see the entire tapestry. Sometimes, the challenges you face, the hardships that seem to stretch endlessly, are in fact essential parts of the design God is weaving into your life. What you feel to be a knot may actually be the foundation of the next pattern. When you face difficulties and trials, do not see them as obstacles but as necessary parts of your soul's growth. Every pain, every loss, every unexpected turn helps shape a deeper part of who you are. When you feel burdened by hardship, remember that it is only part of the process, and peace will come when you have walked through and emerged on the other side. And one day, when you look back, you will see that every hardship you have endured was never an obstacle, but a necessary piece of the mosaic shaping you into the person God created you to be. Those trials were the threads woven into the fabric of your life, and when viewed from above, you will realize that nothing was meaningless, nothing was random. Everything had a reason, and all of it was working together toward a greater purpose that God has ordained for you. Therefore, my child, learn to trust the process. Even when you cannot yet see the whole picture, know that every step you take is guided by the hand of God. When you pray, when you open your heart and listen deeply, you will come to understand that everything you need to know is already within you, within the sacred connection between your soul and God. And as you continue to walk forward in faith and peace, you will realize that everything is unfolding as part of a magnificent plan that He has prepared long before you could imagine. Now, pray these words. Heavenly Father, I stand before you with profound gratitude for all that you are doing in my life. I recognize that every moment, every waiting, every opportunity you give me is a step in my spiritual journey. Please help me understand that everything happening in my life has a deeper purpose, even when I cannot yet comprehend it. Lord, help me not to overlook the messages you send, whether they come through a person, a circumstance, or a dream. Grant me a heart that remains open to receive what you wish to teach me, unclouded by fear or worry. I know that your love and truth can never be hidden, and through every trial, I will come to understand the precious lessons you intend for me. Lord, I thank you for the love of someone who is finding their way to me in this moment. Though I do not yet know everything, I trust that this is not by chance. I believe this person is sent to help me rediscover parts of my soul I had long locked away. Please help me to welcome this love with a heart unbound by the past, unscarred by old wounds. I know that true love does not come to weaken me, but to help me grow, to teach me to open my heart and trust again. Grant me discernment, Lord, to recognize what is genuine love and what is an opportunity for growth and understanding. Heavenly Father, I offer my heart to you, for I know that all things in life flow from you. I have learned that love is not possession, but sharing, an act of deep understanding and mutual respect. I know that every person I meet carries a divine purpose, and this person is no exception. Please grant me the clarity to see which relationships are right, those in which I can truly learn and mature. I no longer seek love out of lack, but because I see it as a chance to grow, to understand myself and you more deeply. Lord, I thank you for every soul who has entered my life. Even in moments of loneliness or doubt, I know you are watching and guiding me. Help me view every relationship as an opportunity to know myself better, to mature, and to love more completely. I understand now that not every connection is meant to last forever, yet each holds meaning and is part of the sacred journey I am walking. Please help me keep my heart open to receive the love you have prepared for me, and also give me the wisdom to release what is not mine, trusting that all things will unfold according to your divine plan. Lord God, in every trial I face, I have always felt your presence beside me. Please grant me the wisdom to recognize that the challenges in life are not always something bad, but sometimes opportunities for reflection and transformation. I know that you always have the best plan for me, and even when I cannot understand why I must go through certain things, I continue to trust in your divine guidance. Help me to have the courage to confront these challenges, and even if I must let go of the things I love, may I learn to embrace these changes with absolute trust in you. Lord, I know that you are teaching me through relationships and through moments of testing. I thank you for every lesson you have given and will continue to give me. Please help me to keep a heart that listens and seeks understanding in every situation. I know that your guidance does not always come in obvious ways, but sometimes through the people around me, through simple words and actions. Help me to recognize that every piece of advice, every act of kindness from others, carries a sacred part of what you want me to learn. Lord God, I believe that every relationship has a purpose, and every encounter is an opportunity for me to grow. I thank you for the opportunities you have given me, and I ask that you help me to see each relationship not as a mere coincidence, but as part of the divine plan you have already set for my life. Grant me the courage to love, to understand, and to accept those who come and go from my journey. I know that even when everything changes, your love and guidance remain steadfast, and that you walk with me every step of the way. Lord, I thank you for all the challenges you have sent my way. I know that you never abandon me, even when I feel weary and unsure of what to do. Please help me to see that every trial is an opportunity for me to grow stronger and to understand more deeply the purpose of my life. I surrender all my worries, fears, and doubts to you, and I ask that you grant me peace and clarity as I overcome every obstacle before me. Lord God, I believe I am in a season of divine transition, where all that has been hidden will be brought into the light. I lay everything in my heart before you and ask that you help me to see every relationship, every opportunity, and every trial as part of the greater plan you have ordained for me. Grant me an open heart, free from fear when facing change, for I know you will always lead me through every challenge and reveal your purpose in my life. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we may continue building a strong and faithful community.